The First Testament, commonly known as the Old Testament, is a collection of books that makes up the first 3/4 of the Bible that we know today. It begins a story that's completed in the last quarter of the Bible, again, that we know today. We call these the books of the New Testament, the last quarter. This story, or the First Testament, the Old Testament, tells how God created a world of beauty and harmony, and many people, creative, relational beings like himself, to care for this world and develop its potential. Next, it tells how people disastrously turned away from God and describes the devastating consequences for the whole creation. Since then, God has been working to bring people back to himself and to restore the world. An essential aspect of God's plan was to enter into a special relationship with a man named Abraham and his descendants, the people of Israel, so that through them he could extend his blessings to people of every nation. The First Testament, or the Old Testament, records that the Israelites looked to 3 sources of authoritative teaching to guide them in their relationship with God: the teaching of the law by the priest, the counsel from the wise, and the word of the prophets. The first books of the First Testament are drawn from these 3 sources, and in the Hebrew versions they're divided into 3 groups: the law, the prophets, and the writings. It's kind of interesting that in Luke's Gospel, Jesus himself uses a similar 3-part designation for the Scriptures by calling them the Law of Moses, the Prophets, and the Psalms. Check it out. The first division of this First Testament is called the Covenant History. It includes both the books the Hebrews call the Law, which is Genesis through Deuteronomy, and the books they call the Former Prophets, which is Joshua through Kings. Since all of these books together make up a continuous narrative, it tells the story of God's dealings with humanity from the beginning of the world up to the time when the people of Israel were conquered and sent into exile. The second division presents the books the Hebrews call the Latter Prophets. These are traditionally divided into 2 groups according to their size. The long books are considered the major prophets, and the short ones the minor prophets. But they're presented in a single group. If you read them together, you will see the storyline continue. I believe that they should be read in their historical order, and you can actually get that from a book called The Books of the Bible, which is published by Zondervan. Let's see if we have an ISBN number here on this copy. Looks like maybe 978-0-310-40057-8. Anyway, very interesting book. It's where I'm getting what I'm sharing with you right now from. The third division of the First Testament, or again what we traditionally call the Old Testament, contains the writings. These rich and diverse books are grouped according to what kind of literature they are. Some are song lyrics, some are wisdom, some are history, some are apocalyptic. We choose to call this entire collection of books the First Testament. The reason for that is the word old can carry the connotation that these books no longer speak to us today. That is simply not true. They are alive. They're full of information. They're full of history. They're full of power. And they're very interesting if read in the proper context. So the First Testament is made up of dozens of books of many different kinds. They cover centuries of history and include everything from the law codes and architectural descriptions to songs and vision reports. Nevertheless, as you read those pages, as you read this First Testament, you will see that God continually is at work to heal humanity and reclaim his world by fulfilling the promise he makes to Abraham early on in Genesis. And that that promise is simply stated as all people on earth will be blessed through you.